Here's a question with a slippery answer. What does a middle-class life in Canada actually cost in 2026? I priced it the way a contractor prices a renovation, line by line, with a written quote at the end. A home, one reliable vehicle, 2 kids in one activity each, a single yearly vacation, 10% saved for retirement, and a real emergency fund. I'm Nathan, and I costed every line using Statistics Canada's Household Spending Survey, CREA, housing data, CAA's driving cost tables, Canada's food price report, and Bank of Canada figures, then grossed the total up into the income a household needs to afford it. Then I set that number beside what the median Canadian household actually earns. The gap between those two figures is the whole story of this video, and by the end, you'll know exactly which side of it you're standing on. Before I price a single line, let me put the checklist on the table so you can dispute any item you disagree with. Line 1, a home the household owns, at the national average price, financed with a 20% down payment and a standard 25-year mortgage. Line 2, one reliable vehicle, financed and driven for daily commuting. Line 3, 2 children, each enrolled in one organized activity. Line 4, one modest family vacation each year. Line 5, enough food for a household of 4. Line 6, 10% of gross income going into a retirement account like an RRSP. Line 7, an emergency fund built up over time to cover 3 months of essentials. Line 8, everything else, meaning clothing, personal care, household operations, phone, internet, and insurance beyond home and auto. That is the whole basket. No private school, no second vehicle, no cottage, no travel sports, no restaurant meals beyond the occasional weeknight takeout. If that basket sounds like a middle-class life to you, then we are ready to price it. If it sounds too generous, remember we are also not pricing childcare, and we are not pricing dental or vision beyond the small allowance in the miscellaneous line. Everything on the list is what Canadians in the middle of the distribution have historically treated as normal, not aspirational. Line 1, housing. CREA's June 2026 MLS data puts the non-seasonally adjusted national average home price at $696,078. I will use $696,000 as the sticker. A 20% down payment is $139,200, leaving a mortgage of $556,800. Fixed 5-year mortgage rates in Canada sit around 4.75% as of mid-2026, with the Bank of Canada holding its overnight rate at 2.25%. On a 25-year amortization at 4.75%, that mortgage bills at roughly $3,155 per month or $37,860 a year. Property tax at a blended national rate of about 0.9% adds $6,264 a year. Home insurance on a detached home averages around $2,000 nationally in 2026. Utilities, meaning heat, hydro, and water, average roughly $3,600 a year per family home. Maintenance and repairs at the standard planner rule of 1% of home value adds another $6,960 a year. Add those lines together, and the housing carry cost is $56,684 a year. Running subtotal after line 1, $56,684. Line 2, the vehicle. The CAA driving costs framework prices a compact passenger car by 5 components: depreciation, insurance, fuel, maintenance, and license and registration. On a financed compact driven roughly 20,000 kilometers a year, depreciation runs about $4,500. Insurance nationally averages around $2,400 a year in 2026. Though provincial variation is heavy, fuel at Canadian average pump prices costs about $1,800. Routine maintenance, oil changes, and tire wear add roughly $900. License and registration averages around $200. Financing interest on a modest car loan adds another $1,200. That comes to $11,000 for one reliable vehicle over 1 year of ordinary driving. Running subtotal after line 2, $67,684. Line 3, the 2 kids and their 1 activity each. Solutions Research Group's Youth Sport Report sets the median annual cost of soccer at about $450, swimming at about $290, and basketball at about $515. These are entry-level participation costs, meaning city league, community program, 1 season a year, ad equipment replacement, registration extras, and travel to games, and the working number lands at roughly $600 per child per year. 2 children in 1 activity each, $1,200, running subtotal, after line 3, $68,884. Line 4, the annual vacation. Travel Week's Canadian family vacation number in 2024 landed near $4,000. Adjusted for the 2026 travel price rises, tracked by the Consumer Price Index, that rounds to $4,500 for a modest 1-week trip, meaning a road trip east, a cottage rental, or a domestic flight to see family. Running subtotal after line 4, $73,384. Line 5, food. Canada's Food Price Report 2026, produced by researchers at Dalhousie, Guelph, Saskatchewan, UBC, and Laval, forecasts that a family of 4 will spend $17,571.79 on food in 2026, up nearly $1,000 from 22 to 5. I will use $17,572. Running subtotal after line 5, $90,956. Line 6, the 10% retirement contribution. This line is not a fixed dollar figure. It scales with the gross income we are working toward, so I will hold this line open and return to it once we have the required gross. Running subtotal is unchanged. Line 7, the emergency fund build. A 3-month essentials cushion at this basket size is roughly $25,000. Building that over 4 years costs $6,250 a year. Over 5 years, $5,000 a year. I will use $6,000 a year, which builds the fund in roughly 4 years, and then either tops it up for inflation or shifts into higher yield saving in a HISA or TFSA. Running subtotal after line 7. $96,956. Line 8. Everything else. This is the line viewers argue with the hardest, so I have kept it lean. Statistics Canada's 2023 Survey of Household Spending, the most recent full data set, reports that Canadian households spent an average of $76,750 across all goods and services that year, with shelter at 32.1%, transportation at 15.8%, and food at 15.7% as the top 3 categories. Backing shelter, transportation, and food out of the remaining categories, the average household spent roughly $18,000 to $21,000 on everything else. Clothing at about $2,900, personal care and health beyond insurance at about $3,000, household operations and furnishings at about $5,500, communications, including phone and internet, at about $2,000, life and disability insurance at about $2,000, and small discretionary spending at about $2,500. I will use $18,000 on the lean end of the range. Running subtotal after line 8, $114,956. That is the after-tax quote for the checklist, national average pricing before the retirement line is added. Round it. $115,000 a year in after-tax spending. Now I convert to the gross income required. This is where the RRSP line comes back in, because RRSP contributions are deductible from taxable income. Working the numbers in an Ontario tax setting, for consistency, a household needs a gross income of approximately $187,000 to net $115,000 after federal and provincial income tax, CPP and EI contributions, and a 10% RRSP contribution off the top. That $187,000 breaks down roughly like this: $18,700 into the RRSP, about $47,000 in combined federal and provincial income tax, about $4,700 in CPP and EI premiums, leaving approximately $116,000 as take-home to spend on the basket. running, quote, total national average pricing after the retirement line is priced in, $187,000 in gross household income per year. Now the comparison. Statistics Canada's most recent median household income figures show the median Canadian family pre-tax income sitting close to $92,000. Median just means the middle household, meaning half of Canadian families earn more and half earn less. The contractor's quote for the checklist basket comes in at roughly $187,000. The gap between the price tag and what the median household actually earns is approximately $95,000 a year. That is the entire story of this video. The checklist a lot of Canadians grew up describing as ordinary now prices at roughly double what the median household brings in the door. And I want to be clear about what that gap does not mean. It does not mean that half of Canadian households are failing at life. It means that the basket has drifted upward faster than income. The checklist is priced at $22.06 costs. The median household is earning $2,026 against a basket that was normal 20 years ago at 20-year-ago prices. Now I requote the identical checklist in 3 markets so you can see the same life carrying 3 different price tags. Winnipeg first. The Winnipeg Regional Real Estate Board reported an average home price of $400 and $200 in June 2026. Same 20% down payment, same 25-year amortization, same 4.75% 5-year fixed rate. The mortgage on $320,960 bills at roughly $1,840 a year. Property tax in Winnipeg runs closer to 1.2%, adding about $4,814. Insurance sits around $1,500. Utilities average about $3,600 with Manitoba Hydro. Maintenance at 1% of value is $4,012. Winnipeg Housing CREA, $35,766. The vehicle, food, kids, vacation, emergency fund, and everything else lines carry across from the national quote at $58,272. After-tax total, $94,038. Grossing that up with the 10% retirement line, approximately $150,000 in required gross household income. Manitoba's median household pre-tax income sits close to the national median. The gap in Winnipeg is roughly $58,000. Halifax next. Nova Scotia Real Estate Board data puts the Halifax average home price at $599,016 in June 2026. Same financing assumptions. Mortgage on $479,213 bills at $2,721 a month or $32,652 a year. Nova Scotia property tax runs around 1.1% of assessment, adding $6,589. Home insurance in Nova Scotia has been climbing on the back of Atlantic weather events, so I will use $2,200. Utilities average about $3,900. Maintenance at 1% of value is $5,990. Halifax Housing CREA, $51,331. The remaining lines carry across at $58,272. After-tax total, $109,603. Grossing up approximately $180,000 in required gross household income. Nova Scotia's median household income sits below the national median, closer to $82,000 pre-tax. The gap in Halifax is roughly $98,000. Now the GTA. The Toronto Real Estate Board reported an average home sale price of $1,058,658 in the Greater Toronto Area for June 2026. Same financing assumptions. Mortgage on $846,926 bills at $4,806 a month, or $57,672 a year. Toronto's residential property tax rate is unusually low nationally at about 0.7%. But on a $1 million home that still adds $7,411, insurance in the GTA averages about $2,500. Utilities run about $4,200. Maintenance at 1% of value is $10,587. GTA housing carry, $82,370. The remaining lines carry across at $58,272. Food in the GTA prices higher in reality, but for a clean comparison, I am holding the national numbers. After-tax total, $140,642. Grossing up, approximately $230,000 in required gross household income. Ontario's median household income is close to the national median at around $95,000 pre-tax. The gap in the GTA is roughly $135,000. Same checklist, 3 different price tags, about $150,000 in Winnipeg, about $180,000 in Halifax, about $230,000 in the GTA. The house is the line item that moves the quote. Everything else, meaning food, kids, vehicle, vacation, carries within a few $1,000s from city to city. The address is the price. Now the value engineering. When a contractor prices a renovation above the client's budget, the conversation shifts to which lines to cut. Real Canadian households facing this quote cut the lines in a fairly predictable order, and the observed order tells you something about what middle class has quietly become in practice. The first line to go is almost always line 6, the retirement contribution. Statistics Canada's RRSP contribution data shows median contributions have not kept up with the inflation-adjusted 10% target for years. When cash flow squeezes, the RRSP is the first line to pause. The second line to go is line 7, the emergency fund build. Bank of Canada household surveys and Financial Consumer Agency of Canada reporting both show that a large share of Canadian households could not cover a $2,000 unexpected expense without borrowing. The emergency fund does not get cut deliberately, it just never gets built. The third line to go is line 4, the annual vacation. Where families used to fly, they drive. Where they used to drive, they visit relatives. Where they used to stay a week, they stay a long weekend. The fourth line to shrink is line 3, the kids' activities. Canadian Fitness and Lifestyle Research Institute data on youth sport participation shows participation gaps by household income have widened, with lower income households cutting hockey and dance first and holding on to swimming and soccer longest, because those two sports have the lowest gear costs. The fifth line to change is line 1, the house. This is the big one. What used to be a detached home becomes a townhouse. What used to be a townhouse becomes a condominium. What used to be ownership becomes renting. CREA's own regional data shows home ownership rates among households under 40 have been trending down for over a decade. And that leads to what quietly fell off the middle-class checklist over the last 20 years, in observed order. Owning a detached home stopped being the default. Retiring at 60 stopped being realistic for anyone outside a public sector pension. Paying for a child's post-secondary education without loans stopped being expected. A single-earner household stopped being viable at national average housing costs. The cottage, the second vehicle, the yearly international vacation, and dining out more than occasionally, meaning items many Canadians remember from their parents' checklist, quietly moved from what the median household could carry into what only the top of the distribution could carry. So, the honest answer to the question in the title is this. Priced line by line at 2026 costs using the same checklist Canadians would have described as middle class 20 or 30 years ago, the quote comes in at approximately $187,000 in gross household income at the national average, $150,000 in Winnipeg, $180,000 in Halifax, and $230,000 in the GTA. The median Canadian household earns roughly $92,000 pre-tax. The gap is not a moral judgment on how anyone spends, it is a receipt. It is what the basket costs now. And if you found yourself editing lines in your head while I was pricing them, meaning dropping the vacation, cutting the RRSP, moving the house to a condo, you're not budgeting. You were value engineering the middle class down to something you could actually afford.